And moving on to the Green Bay Packers, 8-9 last year. Vegas has them at 7.5 wins, which is high expectations for a team that just lost a future Hall of Famer. So let's just jump into this here. I don't even want to go over the stats from last year because the stats from last year are going to mean nothing in terms of the passing games. Throw them completely out the window. But Jordan Love, ADP 151, QB 26. Nobody's looking to draft him highly. He may be somebody you want to draft in a dynasty league to take a shot at because he is in a area where you're playing for the Green Bay Packers. It's a historically known QB team. They obviously liked him enough for Aaron Rodgers to walk, but again, you're not drafting this guy happily. So the last
30 years.
Yeah. So why not go with a guy that they trusted just like they trusted Aaron Rodgers behind Favre? That's what all I'm saying is like, they got to like something in him here. So it's magic happens in Lambeau. So 2021 week 9, he had a full game without Aaron Rodgers. That's the only stats I can give you right here. He was 19 for 34 for 190, a touchdown and a pick. But he spent 3 years behind Rodgers. So that was only his sophomore year, 3 years behind Rodgers. He also had 5 rushes for 23 yards. So he's not immobile. I'd like to see what he has, but I'm putting my trust on this team in 2 guys specifically, and that's Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones going at a low ADP 40. It's lowest he's been in a while, running back 18. He was the RB11 finish quietly last year because he only had 2 rushing touchdowns. That being said, he did have 5 receiving touchdowns. So I like him again here. He's going to be a big part of the receiving game. He's also going to be the lead rusher on the team. A.J. Dillon himself, running back 33, 84th overall. He had RB26 finish, 770 yards, 7 touchdowns himself as well. But he only had 206 receiving yards, no touchdowns. So he's not as big in the passing game. He saw more while Aaron Jones was dealing with a couple little bumps and bruises here and there. Are you buying into Jones as a value, or do you think Jones's time in Green Bay is starting to fade away and we're going to seeing more of a 50-50 split?
I mean, I think we've seen kind of more of a 50-50 split anyway, or maybe like a 60-40 split. And I think it's going to be close to that again. I think they're both really good. What I'll say is, even if it does go to a 50-50 split, this offense is not going to be throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game like it was with Rodgers. I think they're going to be running the ball a lot more. They're going to be focusing on running the ball a lot more. And I think that's going to help both of these guys. I like Aaron Jones. I think that both of these guys are going at value this year because you've seen the hit in ADP. Like Aaron Jones comes off last season and finishes as the RB11. And is now being drafted as RB18 for some reason. And they're going to rely on him more. And so, like, if volume's going to go up, you only like his productivity. Like, he's been a productive back in the league. And, you know, if he had 2 or 3 more touchdowns, he could have been a top 10 running back. So he only had 7 total touchdowns. He's heavily involved in the receiving game. He's a great back out of the backfield. We saw a lot last year where both of them were in the backfield at the same time. They're both really, really good players, and I think that they're going to be the best players on this team. I would agree with you. The receiving core is just so young, and with Jordan Love and the inexperience, I can't see them going out there and just like hucking and chucking the ball. Like, we'll get into the receivers, but in terms of Aaron Jones, like I really like his value where he's going because you're going to be able to get him in the 3rd round. He's like the guys are. I would rather have Aaron Jones over Jahmyr Gibbs, and Gibbs is going in front of him. And that I think is a shame. And I'll capitalize on that for sure if he's there in the 3rd. And A.J. Dillon going.
Well, he's running back 40. He's going 4th round right now.
Yeah,
he's going 4th round right now. And so, I mean, so you're kind of right. It was about a 50-50 split. It was 186 carries for A.J. Dillon at a 4.1 average, which was pretty much on par from his previous season. He had 187 the year before. I will say, the second highest total, though, for Aaron Jones was last year. He had 213. The only time he did it was in 2019, where he had 236. He had 171 the year before in 2021, but he missed 2 games. and he missed a couple the year before that with 201. So to me, I think that you're going to see a similar split. It's going to be probably 55 to 45 split, which is what we're looking at here. But I think Aaron Jones is clearly the best runner. He's a 5.1 career average yards per carry. And he's got the home run ability. AJ Dillon had a couple big home runs. I think the biggest one he had was a 36-yarder in 2021, but Aaron Jones did that last year. He had a 57-yarder the year before, 77-yarder the year before that. So we're talking big numbers. And the touchdown regression is going to be positive progression, as I would say, from Aaron Jones here, because 2 is just tiny. I mean, maybe not from the goal line, but I think he's going to get himself in from the 15, 10-yard line here. Let's talk about some other big-time scorers. In Christian Watson last year, he's going at wide receiver 19, all off of a 4-week stretch where he was wide receiver 1, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 6, wide receiver 4. He ended up with 7 touchdowns, ended up as the wide receiver 25. Here's the thing for me, at wide receiver 19, going 57 overall. You're talking that this is going to be somebody's second receiver on their squad. He had 6 receptions being his highest reception total in a single game all season. I don't like that. If I'm getting my wide receiver 2, I want somebody with some volume in there as well. And his teammate was the guy with the volume, and that was Romeo Doubs when he was healthy. He had a higher target volume prior to the injury per game than Christian Watson did. So he doesn't have the home run ability, but he's got the underneath. He's got the shorter routes. He's going to get the volume. And I can look it up real quick while you talk about which one you prefer to get on your team. But I believe Romeo Doubs had a better red zone target ratio as well compared to Christian Watson.
Well, the answer is Doubs. I want him on my team more than Watson. I think Watson's being drafted way too high based on a 4-week stretch that we saw him with a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing him the ball. And he could have had bigger numbers last year. He dropped a lot. The infamous first play of the season, drops a 75-yard touchdown against the Vikings. But it's just Doubs is going to be the volume guy. And even I like Jaden Reed a little bit more, but this is just kind of what I was alluding to before. Like, this team is really young at the receiving position. You have 2 second-year players in Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. You have a rookie in Jaden Reed. You have a rookie in Luke Musgrave. You have essentially, a first-time starter in Jordan Love as the thrower. I don't like the passing offense, and if I don't have to, I'm probably not going to take a Green Bay Packer that's a pass catcher, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with someone else grabbing Christian Watson and seeing him have a decent season, because I don't think he's going to have top 10 numbers. I don't think he has that ability, and I don't think Jordan Love has that ability. I don't think Romeo Doubs has that ability either. So am I going to be drafting a guy that's going to be a top 20 receiver? Yeah, maybe he's going to finish up as 18th, 19th, or 20th, but okay, I'll go get someone else. Like, I'd rather not deal with the headache of the unknown. Again, you have guys that are going, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going around Christian Watson's value. And I'll take them any day.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's take a look at that real quick. So I stand corrected. Christian Watson was 8 for 13 for 4 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs did have a better catch percentage in the red zone. He was 6 for 8 for 3 touchdowns. But again, Christian Watson was in there pretty heavily for the most of the season. Romeo Doubs had some injury issues and missed some weeks. So I think in a full season that he tends to take away from the short yardage catches with Doubs, because he was making some highlight reel catches. So when you look at Watson, you got DeAndre Hopkins right now, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper. He's sandwiched between those 4 guys. I'd take any one of them over Christian Watson.
I would take any one of them over Christian Watson.
Terry McLaurin, he's probably drafted above. Jerry Jeudy above, Keenan Allen above. Like, he's going above all those guys.
I would take any of those guys over him.
Yeah, so I would too. Let's finish up with 2 players. One guy's a rookie coming in here. Somebody to watch in preseason is Jaden Reed. He's somebody who's very talented wide receiver, has a chance to break into 3 wide receiver sets. Again, you're facing two divisional opponents in the Vikings and the Lions, you may be playing from behind in Green Bay more than they're used to. And that may give him opportunities to go there. To me, Luke Musgrave is another one of those rookie tight ends that you can throw a dart at the wall. But to me, he's a better blocking tight end. He didn't have a big, prolific receiving career in college, but he was one of the heavy touted tight ends. I think this helps the running game more than anything. But we've known Tunyon was there. Tunyon was a great receiving tight end for them there. Who knows how they convert Musgrave? Yeah, Mercedes Lewis. They like their tight ends in Green Bay. And Musgrave is number 1 on the depth chart right now.
Big guy.
To me,
big guy.
Yeah. To me, the 3 guys I'm taking off this team are Jones, Dillon, Dubs. And I'm not looking back after that. I'm not going to try and take a chance on an unknown offense right now. I'd go for talent over those guys. And I'm only taking Dubs because he's 149th overall, wide receiver 59. He's a flex or bench player for me, really start bench, to be honest, to start. So
it's going to be crazy because I actually think that the Packers are going to be in last place in this division.
I think they could, even though they weren't last year. I think there's a very good shot they can.
I think the Bears and them are both being projected by Vegas at 7.5 wins. And I think the Bears are a better team.